So, okay. That's officially streaming. So, yeah. There's not... Obviously, we're going to be fairly short. There's not a whole heck of a lot going on. I'm downloading the zero weight thing. I did want to show...
I think there's something up with the video cable.
Yeah, it's not on.
I think it's actually the...
I think it's either that or the actual cable itself. So...
Yeah, it was like...
Must be green.
Yeah.
It was the case last time, too.
That's what I thought that I remembered that being the case.
It sucks.
It sucks, but we'll deal with. So one thing I wanted to mention on Zero Weight, I figured out, I talked to my 2D animation teacher and weirdly started talking about boxing and started talking about other things. And he made me realize kind of how the levels can be set up. So like we have that weird little oblong kind of square shape for the level right now, which is literally this shape here. Or just an octagon or whatever. And so like we can have that, which is already what the shape that's there, and just kind of replace the texture that's on it now with like kind of a semi-transparent sort of force field texture, and then build kind of the outside just to look basically like what it did before, sort of, just a little bit different setup. So like you would have the playable area is just this here, and then like you would have like bleachers and things for people on the outside as if it were a stadium, but have it kind of on top of each other as well. So I want to have people kind of sitting upside down on top of the other people that are right side up.
That's really cool.
You know, just because it's 0-8.
Yeah.
Why the hell not? So yeah, just kind of do that where you have basically what we have now for the playable area, and then you know, a little space on the outside for people.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea.
I think the arena should itself be a fist that is just continuously punching.
Perfect. But, and then on the side of that or whatever, I want, like he mentioned, boxers like coming into an arena or coming into a fight. So like you always, or like wrestlers or whatever. So they always have that big production where they walk down the red carpet or whatever, and there's the crazy rock song playing in the background or whatever or what have you. So like I want to kind of do a set of chutes that are inside the arena itself that open up. So like you have just doors on the top and bottom of the arena, and the ships will just come in and kind of like reorient themselves to be horizontal and in their normal space, but. You know, you'll have the whole tunnel kind of pathway for them to fly down and look awesome and have a crazy rock song playing or that sort of thing. So, yeah, that seemed cool in my head.
And now you mentioned having like a force field be like the walls of the actual playable space.
Mm-hmm.
That brings to mind like a sort of sumo-esque mechanic where knocking people into the walls can damage them or somehow have other rules consequences. So
yeah, cool. Yeah, that'd be perfect. Just have like anytime they run up against the wall, just like constant ship damage. Cool. So yeah, I had that idea earlier this week, so that'll make progressing easier, and we can kind of keep to what we already have. Good things. Let's see, I showed I don't know if we did a meeting where I showed the ship, but the ship is there.
No, I don't think we showed that in the meeting.
So...
Yeah, I mean, like I told you, I think it should be a little more aggressive than just purely brown everywhere.
Well, okay, this ship is supposed to look like crap.
Okay.
Like, legitimately, this ship is supposed to look horrible
So like, what is it called
and dumb.
In Super Mario?
A bullet bill? Yeah, that's what I was actually going for. This is supposed to be just like the default, like alpha sort of like. We use it maybe for a joke ship on the side that we make fun of, and not actually a legitimate ship that we want
I
to.
don't know what Axel is, but he wanted to.
Yeah, Axel's actually doing
that.
those.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's good at that.
Yeah, so he's working on those. If maybe he shows up, I don't know.
Actually, you can
That's
see it better with the
okay. Well,
not
awful
really.
to see you on the projection. Ugh, God, is there anything I can do with this? You want to play with it while
I doubt that it's a setting. It looks like this.
Yeah, it looks like the cable. That's annoying. But you know, you can see on the laptop itself, and the video that's getting uploaded onto the internet will show the actual ship. But yeah. So.
All right,
Oh wait,
well,
what? Really?
You all shut up. And
Oh.
okay, keep
What did
going.
you do?
Yeah,
I don't know.
change the color space to RGB.
RGB HDMI.
It was in components. It was in white.
Okay. Well.
In blue green.
So
Red.
yeah. All right. Well. So yeah. This is the ship. how it looks in game. We've got to figure out the shaders and everything, but I figure that'll be just something between me and you, Teo, mostly, just figuring out what to use. But yeah, that kind of gives a vague idea, that a little bit of detail on the texture itself, mostly just solid colors, that sort of stuff. Yeah, and then the ship is actually rigged and everything, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah. Is there any other... I think that's all that we've done. We have the GUI in place, but obviously we don't have her. We are download. It's done.
It's like we have the proof of concept and we basically need to like decide on all the different parts of that thing.
Okay.
Oh, and you have the sounds for the menu and all that? And
Yeah, I have the sounds for the menu.
Oh, great.
Now.
Yeah.
That's another quick idea.
Where was this? Downloads. Okay. Downloads. 08. Perfect. Load that. I noticed one of the versions that you had or that you had uploaded did not have the the level that I'm using on mine. Do you have that?
I never had that level.
Oh, okay.
So if you just want to like
Yeah,
set
I'll post the OBJ. Sorry about that. Did I get the right thing? Okay.
not right.
Yeah, that's not right. Okay.
Everything is gone.
Wow, that's bizarre.
It's the 08 master, so yeah. Go into assets? No,
No,
yeah,
the assets
yeah.
are all-
Go on the...
What the?
Alright, read about it. Oh, you can actually just double click on the scene.
Sorry.
If you just go into your folder and just double click on the scene, it should open the scene.
Oh, okay. So just assets, open the scene here. Yeah. That was bizarre and random.
Yeah.
Oh, this just isn't wanting to work at all. This doesn't seem so much like your file seems like it's there.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
not
should you-
Just
loading.
shut down Unity and reload it.
Yeah, no kidding, the program not run correctly. Okay. Now let's relaunch Unity maybe, see if that helps. If not, we'll just skip that for now. Because that's a weird, really weird issue. Okay.
Well.
Yeah, this is bizarre. Whatever. It's not that big a deal. So, okay, yeah, we'll just skip that. That's not a, that's not a big deal.
I'm just really curious what the issue is here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the download. No, I'm sure it'll work on any other device that I try to download it onto. Okay. So yeah, I think that's all that's happening for 08 right now. I believe. Y'all want to talk Call of Duty for a minute?
We're kind of just like stuttering back into getting art stuff going, and Bruce has done a couple new builds, but
I'm finally at a point starting today where I'm going to start doing art stuff.
You can actually breathe again and have time to do things.
yeah, I think we're just going to do something.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So I'm going to start doing that, and I have to actually update myself on everything Bruce has been doing.
Do you want to pull up the last build? Like, do we
Yeah,
have the
there's
slide
a-
window open?
If you just scroll down on the programming one,
So the Call of Duty 2 builds this here.
yeah, that link.
Okay. Oh, it's on the web player.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Give
it's
it
really
a name.
pretty neat. And you can send it to anybody.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think with Unity 5, you don't even need to download the plugin. It's like embedded in
The web page?
the
Yeah.
web page.
Huh. That's
So
neat.
anyone can do it. It's great.
So should
I've
I
yet to
move and
try it.
allow somebody else to showcase whatever this is?
Bruce, do you want to?
Sure, I'll drive. Sure, I'll drive.
If I must.
I'll take shotgun on the wrong side.
Okay, so you've at least got objects picking up. You can knock objects over that you don't have
That's the best feature.
in your cursor, yeah, but the one you're holding doesn't get messed with. So we have the milk pouring thing going on, so if you hold it in front or over it, it'll just keep pouring until you move.
Okay.
So we have
how does
the-
that work?
So
Like,
yeah,
how is
the-
the turning actually as you just hold it or something?
Yeah, it's like there's this.
When you hold it above something that it can react.
There's there's just a
Okay.
hitbox over this, so and then there's
So
like
if
a
it's within
collider
the hitbox,
here.
It just starts to turn. Okay,
So
interesting.
you have that tilt kind of thing going on. Here's like a stationary dispenser, so your syrups and stuff. And then there's two ways that you can move. Like there's a second screen over here, so we have this kind of thing going on. Or if you want to take a container or an ingredient, you can just
Oh,
go
that's
over to the side.
Cool.
But you
So-
shouldn't be seeing too much of the crazy things being knocked around and stuff because you need to avoid that for efficiency. So it's not going to be like the point of the game is funny physics, haha, funny.
Yeah.
It is funny though.
Oh, there's a bug.
Yeah.
I still got a
It's
few
true,
things to work
otherwise
in.
it's like kind of redesigned or resized and what have you for.
Like I was.
It's unfortunate, but physics is just fun. It is.
Okay.
So that's kind of what's going on right now.
Cool,
There's
yeah.
there's a lot more to do, but some of the core stuff is there now.
Yeah, no,
Amazing.
that looks good.
I'm actually going to do
Versus
things
hero.
now.
Yeah. So.
That's still my favorite thing to do.
Yes,
kinda-
that's a really good idea.
All right, so yeah, that's where
Cool.
we're at.
Very cool.
That's what I'm doing. Is that something you're working on? Or you
No,
just-
this is
I was gonna say I didn't know you were making a 2D film. Like when did that happen?
Oh yeah, you know, three games and a 2D film and a few other things. You know, just some side projects to keep me busy. I don't want to get bored. Okay, cool. Anything else?
We should have a lot more to talk about next week.
Okay. Great.
But in the meantime, Bruce is amazing.
Yes.
We should write a song.
We want to.
He really should write songs.
We want to show why
Sorry.
the show why the hell you did this.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So this is fun. Let me open. I hope I have the right version of this. Or I hope I have the playable version of this, I should say. Looks
I
like
think
it.
it depends on how we're feeling.
Okay.
And
So does two other people want to play? Because I already have played this and know how it works. This is why the hell would you do this? The competitive multiplayer bullet hell that we're working on because we're insane and we hate ourselves. So it's WASD on the left side, IJKL on the right side. To shoot is space on the left and semicolon on the right. So for Jessica, you use semicolon, just your pinky. You just hold down the button.
Oh man, I have to use fork and stop it.
Hold down your button.
Trade places with me.
No, it's IJKL.
Why?
I know,
It's
right?
not designed for this setup. It's designed for control.
What happens?
Or
myself.
yeah.
What happens? What happens?
I don't know.
rotate it down the
It ruined everything.
I'm too good at it.
Yeah, why the hell would you do this? It should be. Is it? I'm not sure if I have the one where you have to tap with the
Yeah, this looks like a little
tap. Okay. Well,
so
Wait, how do I face this direction? Oh,
but yeah. So you get the idea there.
I think this is sort of game.
There's a lot of. So you
Yeah, you actually created bullet hell. Good.
Well, that's the whole point of like the bullet hell game.
But the worst thing is that you can switch. You can have like a mode where you have bullets all over the place, and then a more focused laser or something. So
Yeah, we're gonna do a
always-
few different bullet patterns. Well, we're designing the patterns now, so we're figuring out what the shapes are going to be specifically.
Somebody should be designing.
Or at least somebody should be designing if they're watching the Twitch feed right now. Reminder.
Who are you talking about? Let's be direct. I really don't know. I'm wondering.
It's Taylor. It's,
okay.
It's me, Ness, and Taylor who are working on this.
Taylor's not
we've
watching.
We've been bugging him to get
He has an
the
actual-
bullet patterns.
He has an actual grown-up job.
Yeah.
One of the things about like non-multiplayer bullet hell games is you have to like anticipate like patterns and
boss.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this, it just kind of becomes like a game of like staying at the edge of the screen, so you can get in the middle of these rays, but you can pretty much just sort of like ride up and down between them.
Which is why we're going to be doing different patterns.
This
So you're going to have
lots of-
active
there's gonna be
control.
lots of playtesting with different patterns and
Okay.
different
Yeah, and then you can become really
So
competitive.
the different patterns are different weapons that you can switch?
Yeah. So you'll have
Okay.
like the idea is to have 4 different buttons that each trigger different patterns to happen. So like you'll hold down X to shoot this pattern, or you'll hold down square to shoot like some other pattern entirely.
actually
And
create
you'll be able to
patterns.
change that actively. As you
Another
go.
problem right now is that the bull's
Oh,
not
that's
despawn,
cool.
so it's like it's gonna crash eventually.
Oh, wow.
I've implemented the despawning bullets in the new version.
Oh, interesting.
I really like these.
It's getting slower and slower.
I-
They never despawn.
I really like the graphics for the ships. You did a good job on them.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah, the game is very silly and
I-
it's
Yeah.
going to be entertaining.
I love bullet hell.
I think different patterns are a good idea, but maybe if there was like also something additional, like different maps of just little obstacles and stuff. I don't know, something. Maybe that's not.
Something to have to interact with. Yeah, that might be something we can play with.
In the meantime, just keep playing Donpachi and and
Ikaruga?
Ikaruga.
Not that.
Oh.
God, help me.
Well,
Ikaruga
Ikaruga is
is
interesting
unique.
because like I feel like it's more focused on just like switching to the colors.
Yeah,
so you don't have
it's
to
almost a
dodge.
puzzle game, so that's
Yeah.
really the thing.
It has less focus on dodging and more on like,
Well,
recognizing the
There's
colors
this
and
this
pushing in time.
other treasure. You can play all the racing
Yeah.
games.
I've got Jamestown that we did for a little playtest
yeah, which is-
originally to get Taylor to actually play Bullet Hell
just
game.
just try to get your hands on.
No, apparently
Resident
he's not even
Evil
really
game.
interested in playing bullet hell games. He just wants to make one.
What if you?
Oh, that's
What if there
Taylor,
was
he
something
doesn't play
to?
video games.
What if there was something to force you to go to a different part of the map to sort of force you to get to an unsafe space, like you ran out of ammo, and
That's
then you
another
had.
thing. Is we're planning on
charging-
like supercharged power-ups that you go
Oh,
pick
okay,
up and then
cool.
like, get more bullets or get bigger.
Yeah, so there's a risk
Yeah.
Faster.
reward
Exactly.
system.
So spawn something in the middle, and then you have to like, oh, who's gonna get it? Who's gonna get it?
And that's another reason why we want to have.
What do you?
the
What?
patterns completely
What?
surrounded by
What?
this. He's going to charge going behind the other player and vice versa.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, you can actually create patterns yourself. Just
You can
You can freestyle.
create an unblockable pattern if you keep moving forward.
That's a good point.
yeah. This is the very early version.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah, I think it looks cool. And there's bullets in its hell.
Yeah. So this is the idea basically. Again, this is the first possible concept.
You don't have to
of this.
explain to me like I don't know what games are.
So,
I know it's the first thing you made. I'm not trying to critique it like you're presenting it at a thing where you show games and stuff.
That was good
All
English,
right.
Jessica. But yeah, so we're working on that, and it's cool stuff. Yeah. So,
You can keep doing
well, I guess Taylor, since you're already sitting there, you want to talk about animations?
Yeah, sure.
It is 4:40.
All right.
There should be an explosion thing somewhere in here. Maybe this. explosion report, so that should be
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go into 2.3 and. Wait, do you have an explosion here?
Yeah, it's all white and yellow, so it's hard to see.
Oh,
It's
okay,
there, I
okay.
promise. And it's there, and it's 200 by 200.
Can I? Okay.
Or rather, each individual frame is 200 by 200. The total file size is 1024.
So if I slice it up,
If you slice it by 200, it should be perfect.
all right. I'm gonna explain everything. Okay, right away. Yes.
It should be
Okay, so yeah, the whole thing with like when you import sprites in Unity, and I bet that's what you have here. Is it what you have? Actually, Nathan, can I start with a blank thing rather than
However you
this?
want, yeah.
So it might actually be easier. Let me just do a new scene.
New scene?
Yeah. Don't say that.
You're
Okay.
demoing animation stuff?
But
Well,
with sprites.
It's how to import animation into Unity, is the idea.
Yeah, well, there's one thing is how to import sprites in Unity. There's actually a workaround for that. So, since Unity 4.6, you can just click there and have that specific 2D view, which is emulating an orthographic view, basically. So you need to have your camera, and I think that's what you had. Yeah, the camera is here set in orthographic view. So when you actually look at it, it's not a cone, and it's really important. It's actually just an entire rectangle, but like the focal point is right there. So what you have here is like looking at the frontal view like an aquarium. So if you look at the 2D view, that's the frustum, is that what it's called, of the side of the camera. So that's what the camera sees in orthographic. So everything that's going to be in that rectangle is what the camera is going to render. And now there's just one really easy thing. If you have just a PNG like the one we have here, which is, if I look in Explorer, is it going to show up? It's not. Okay, so when you import a sprite into Unity, something 2D, something like an asset for Qt or whatever, you need to go into the import settings and set that to sprite 2D and UI. And then, because the default one is texture, it's not a texture, it's actually a whole different kind of like preset that Unity is already having, which is called the sprite 2D and UI. And here in this, you can choose to set if the sprite is just one sprite, which is what we have here with just the ship, like the explosion, if it is a sprite atlas ship with multiple multiple sprites in one frame. So you can have one PNG with like all the explosions of multiple ships, and that's how you will create the animations. And in order to choose all that, that's why you choose if it's a single sprite or multiple. So here, obviously, it's a single sprite. If I go into the sprite atlas here with the explosions, I set that to multiple. And then when I go into my sprite editor, it's really not simple to see.
Not easy to see. Sorry, folks.
Okay,
It's there.
so here, that's what we have. We have all the different states for the animation. So 1, 2, 3, I guess, right? 4.
Yeah, there's
Is that
actually
it?
11 total frames.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's the cross right there.
They're single pixel lines.
Okay,
the
so
first part.
since your wall spread atlas is like 1024 by 1024, and you said it's like 200 for a frame, what I have to do when I have multiple sprites in one atlas is going to slice. And here I have either automatic. If I choose automatic, actually, you'll see what's going to happen if I press slice. It's just going to try to create some bullshit stuff, try to find where pixels are actually starting and just ending, where you have solid colors. So here it's all bullshitted. That's not what we want. We want here something just by respecting the grid, so 200 by 200. And then when I press slice, I obtain this all these different animations under the one size every time. Is that okay? I don't think it is.
It looks like it's right.
You have stuff going around, but let's see.
Yeah, we'll see.
That should be.
It looks like it's okay.
That should be fine just for a quick demo. Okay, so what Unity is going to do basically is cut and slice. It's just punch, cut all these tiles into one big tile, and basically like a zoetrope is going to render one part of this giant frame at a time. So every frame I'm going to call one tiny window in one big PNG, or whatever it is that you have actually here. It's a PNG. Okay, so now that it's done, let's say apply, and then, okay, I am going to do one thing, Nathan, one column. Yeah, so now that I've done this, okay, I'm actually going to open this too and show you how it works. So here, that's my single sprite. And inside this, there's another object, another Unity object, that's basically the same sprite. So under the parent, you actually, that's where you have the picture stored. That's the sprite itself. And inside this, which is the main sprite class, I have all these individual images that I can call through an animation, or that I can call through basically any line of code. So the one thing too is that you have either two ways to basically import sprites into the viewport. You can just drag and drop them, like just taking that and bringing it. And as you can see, I'm just going to do that too. Yeah. Okay, that's my camera, that's my sprite. When I move my sprite, I move it orthographically on the camera. And when I'm in the 2D mode, I have this really cool handles that let me just, you know, resize and move things. If I change to 3D mode, then as you can see, the sprite is actually a 3D object, and here I can resize it by using the same tool that I'm using the 3D object. If I go back into 2D, and I have this specific tool to handle 2D object. So that's one of the shape here. And if I bring the explosion by doing the same thing,
It's going to make you make an animation for it.
why?
Because it's an animation.
No, it. Okay.
Just tell it, just say
Okay,
it as an
yeah,
animation.
that's what I'm gonna
Just
do.
leave it as that.
I've never seen that. Okay. So there we go. Here's my sprite here, and if I like zoom it up, that's what it is. So the thing is, this is the first frame. This should be the first frame, just the explosion 1, I guess. So now if I want to create an animation and just flip through what I have here, 1 to 8, well, I have to bring the animation tab right there, and oh yeah, it actually created. Okay, that's so yeah. It doesn't do that on Mac for whatever reason, and it actually created the whole animation right away. Okay, so that's even better. I don't even really have to explain, but basically, okay, how it works is that when you bring the animation window and you create an animation, so I create an animation named Explo, and you can add properties to actually change the transform, the sprite render, or the animator itself. And the easiest way to actually create an animation is choose your sample here. You can always resample, but you take all these frames and you just drag all that. There's really no simple way to do it. You drag it, and then, as you can see here, it just created the animation right away. What's really awesome is that you can change the sampling like by just doing that, and then when you press play, that's 24 frames per second. If I want to do 8, there you go. So you can preview animation, and then you get back into the 3D view if you have multiple. I don't know, even if you have 3D object in your scene, and then when I press play, it's still okay, and it's actually going to record the position. Yeah.
He moved it just now just to show. Yeah. Just assumed.
Yeah. There you go. So
I didn't know that you could.
you can just do that.
I didn't know that you could drag and drop from the
Well,
hierarchy onto the animator window.
now you can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what I was thinking about using the animator system to do the 3D stuff.
Mhm. And it's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that you could drag and drop from the hierarchy, so I was going through
Yeah.
looking at properly and then flipping through the hierarchy
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
gonna have to do this like 26 times.
Well, actually, going on from that, since the UI that I made was actually not 2D, it's a different walk around. But you can also activate and deactivate in the animator. Like I managed to in Cinema 4D create an animation with MoGraph, like a deformer, something that moves a PLA animation with like a mesh deforming, which is something you can't have in Unity because Unity doesn't register point and vertices animation. So what I did was exploiting a sequence of OBJ. So each state that the object was going through, I was exploiting that as a sequence of OBJ and calling that on or off as the animation was going.
Wow, that sounds
So when
expensive,
when Unity plays the animation, you just play through all the states of the OBJ and you can have something really organic moving.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can plug my Mac, but that works. So just as a like to prove you guys how even easier it can be. So here you can really see. You have, why the fuck did you give me an explosion like that? Can't see shit, but all of these states.
It has a little preview.
Yeah, and if I want suddenly to actually
better sprite.
bring something else, I can replace that, and you can see it. See? Like.
Yeah, play it. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
But that's super easy. So you can really create animation and like play them back. Preview them super quickly and super efficiently. If you have a character that like a walk cycle or whatever, well, that's really an easy way to see all that. So now if I want to call this animation, so when I press space, I play the animation, for example. And then actually doing it in 3D is pretty much the same. I don't want to take too much time. But okay, so now what I do have when I created the whole animation is not just the animation itself, which is called Explode, but also an animator controller called the same way that my explosion. So WTH and so forth. And if I double click on that animator, so you guys tried, and so it looks like you have this nodal system, and basically what it does, if I press play, actually, if I press play right now, it should play the animation once. Actually, no, it loops right away. Okay. So the animation plays on awake. If I go into this, so I have my animator set here, and if I double click on that, you can see that what's happening is when the game starts, so entry, it goes, and it's also not really easy to see, but there's an arrow here. It just goes right away into explode, which is orange because it's the default position, the default state, animation state. If I create another state, it's going to be gray. So what I'm going to do is, basically, I want to have one, let's say, idle animation where nothing is really happening. And then it's going to go to this state that I'm going to call explode. And explode is going to play an animation, and then when the animation is going to be over, it's going to go back to idle. So every time I'm going to press space, it's going to explode, stop exploding, and then get back to maybe the first frame or no frame at all. And the thing that's really important to understand in Mechanims and that whole system is that all these states are like checkpoints, but basically what triggers the animation is the transitions. So what goes from one state to another. And I had really hard time understanding how that would work, because I was just like clicking and selecting the states and trying to understand how it goes from one state to another. But if you click to these arrows, you actually see how the transitions are going to work between two animations and also what is going to trigger what animation, basically. All these transitions are like floodgates. The animation is liquid. That's what you see with the blue bar when the animation is playing. When I'm selecting this and playing, as you can see, there's this blue bar. Yeah. So that's exactly, actually that's a good example. So there's the explosion playing. When the explosion is over, it goes to explode. And then when explode is done, it goes back to the first state. So that's how it works. It's just like all this fluid that needs to go from one place to another, and you can't really stop it. When the game plays, the animation keeps playing no matter what. So you have to trigger all these floodgates to tell, okay, go in that direction or in that direction.
Okay.
Making a joke about fluid flooding or something. Sorry.
Anyways, So that's going to be idle.
And we can load up Lux and just show like maybe if you want
Well,
to give a practical example.
Uh,
It's mostly function.
it is mostly function. Okay, let me just finish that because I like to do it from scratch
No,
to see that
You
just.
don't have to load up Lux.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
saying that is an option.
And then here in explode, I'm actually going to put the motion that interests us, which is explode. There we go, and then yeah, I'm also going to show where you invert the speed because you can also trigger an animation if you want to make a character like play animation backward by pressing key instead of doing two animations, which is what I was doing when I was doing sprite atlases. I was making the character go one way and then an entire row with the character going another way. But if you actually want to play animations forward or backward, you can just change the speed from 1 to -1, and that's a really easy trick to actually play an animation in reverse. So you use the same animation, don't do two animations with like different sprites. You just do one forward animation and then you do speed -1 to go in reverse. Okay, so now there's going to be a little bit of actually. Okay, yeah, let's go in Lux, Nathan.
So just
From that
should be.
because I don't really want to rewrite the like set animated trigger.
I got you. Yeah, don't save. You don't need to save that.
And then that's probably going to be it. 'Cause I think you need to go from, right? It's 4:58.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
I'm sorry. Okay. Nathan, what scene should I open?
Sorry, there's a bunch of.
That's fine.
Modus test down here. Yeah, so there's the animation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that works. Okay. Okay, so yeah, there's like we're not gonna care about that either. That's basically the animation to make the character run, jump, and obviously the idle pose. So the way all that is set up is that, I mean, really, obviously, when the game starts, it goes into the idle animation. So when you are not touching any input, the character idle animation is that loading, Nathan? Or?
It should be there. The animation window is up on top of the scene window, so you're not actually seeing it.
No, yeah, that's right. That is right. Okay. Okay, so if I click on the character, yeah, there you go. So the idle animation is playing, and whenever I press one of my key, I just open, close, sort of all these floodgates and go into run. If I press jump, I'm going into jump animation and get back to idle. Actually, it goes to run, Nathan.
Yeah. Well,
Whatever. There's also the damage flash. The character is flashing non-stop. Anyways,
there's a bunch of things that we're working on.
so in order to trigger all these transitions, you have multiple things, but you have here in the list of parameters, and you can set these transitions to be on float, integer, bool, or trigger. Here we're using the trigger thing. So it's
Excuse me, ladies, can we keep the voices down? We're trying to.
that's okay.
We're broadcasting.
Okay, so the way it works is that here in when I click on one of the transition, I have conditions, and that's where you feed like all the parameters you set there, which again are triggers. So when I go into the character controller script, here you define an animator that you can just put in the field, which is here. Animator to player one that animator, so you can call the different states in that animator. Yeah, it's pretty. You can't zoom in. No, okay. I don't have my usual setup for C40. Anyways, so you have to declare that animator in the code right there, obviously, and then you just call it. So where is it that you have? Oh, okay. Yeah. And then you actually, Nathan, creating some functions. So you had animated.setTrigger, and then, well, you call the trigger that we need at that specific time. So when we press input get access, when you press horizontal vertical, you have to say that we want to open the floodgate to run. So we want, when you press that, when the key is down, you want to open that gate so the animation goes into the run state. So that's what it did, is calling the turn function, and inside the turn function you have animated.setTrigger run. And it's just the fact that you can call animated.setTrigger run is playing the animation of the run, plus moving the character in space and all that. So actually, instead of just calling the function, what you could just have is animated.setTrigger here put into, if I put get access blah blah blah, I mean you guys know how it works, you put animated.setTrigger or .setBool, set floats, and depending on floats if you want to use velocity to trigger things. So if we want, you know, an animation for the ship when you reach a specific boost or something, well, that's what we would do. And all of that is just neatly done in logic here, with like just creating transition between different states. And then you can mesh animations here. If you check exit time, that's actually when when the animation is done, it goes to the way the arrow is pointing at, obviously the condition here. So as exit time as priority of a condition. So even if there's a condition, as exit time is going to have to exit through that gate anyway. So I don't know if that makes sense, because that was pretty fast, but yeah. Is that okay?
Well, we haven't recorded some sounds with it.
It's true, yeah. No, if there's any question, and anyways, and I'm sure
Just go ahead, though, just because we're going to be recording this and anybody can watch, just go through briefly just to mention the whole FBX process, whatever.
Oh,
so
yeah, sure.
You want to
Can you actually load zero weight?
load in 0.8, and actually, I mean, you don't have to go through the whole import process if you don't want to.
No, let's do it. Let's do it
Okay.
quickly, just to see if we can have the animation running. So yeah, you need to check, not the other one.
Yeah, not the other weird one. So, like I said, I don't actually have it exported out of my. Granted, that takes 2 seconds, but.
Okay, cool.
Let me get my link to that. Might take a minute on that, perhaps. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, I just plotted how on the actual frequency problem. So there is a problem with what I just did. Okay.
How dare you?
Get out of here.
So unprofessional.
My code is perfect.
So I'm saying there's a problem with what I did.
Oh, of course. Got a little working with my half-assed and like hacked together code and all the issues that I've had because I just don't know what I'm doing. It's been an interesting experience.
Yeah.
Come on, Maya.
Yeah, sorry.
Let me just fix that one with the code already.
No,
Just open up monitor.
Oh.
It should still be ready. Yeah.
yeah, it's a chin.
It's more like I don't actually need that at all. I need this. Only if both axes are 0 do we want it to idle, right?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow. That was such a... Okay.
Okay, so Nathan, I'm gonna go into OpenReason.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know if I've actually even looked... Oh, yeah, that's it.
A few more keys, and it's okay. So
Oh.
we figured it.
Well, we're
Not
almost.
gonna be too much longer.
No, we're almost done.
Although we were just jumping to the artist side of things again, so good timing.
Okay, so you have your probe. Yeah.
Here's my crappy shiny dildo shit.
It looks a lot.
It is a dildo
like
ship.
It's a dildo shit. It's a dildo shit. Multi.
No, yeah, well,
Yeah.
dildos.
It's-
in fact 3 dildos in one.
it feels more medical than a dildo, actually, which is a little scary.
Well, it seems like okay, I'm just not even.
Whatever. Okay.
It looks like
we'll codename
the
this ship the
main
anus puncher.
part goes.
Oh, look at
in-
there.
Yeah, it's the anus puncher.
Yeah.
So you
There
have
is
the main
punching
part.
butts.
Never mind.
Yeah, stop right there. Okay, good. Okay, so we can export that into Unity, and to do that, we need to export that as an FBX. So let's do export all. So let me just look at the outliner and see all that is.
No, it should be export all. There's nothing complicated in this. It's disorganized, granted.
What is that?
Actually, I don't know.
All right, so I'm just gonna export.
Okay, yeah, just export it now.
Yes. Okay. Export selection. Okay. So here you have FBX export, and then you have multiple things that should actually be checked.
Maybe actually have to export and it'll pop up. Is that the case?
Export selection.
Yeah, there it is.
That is okay. And I don't use Maya, so whatever. But in this you have animation, and obviously you need to check animation. You need to bake the animation if somewhere. No, skin, spline, shape, bake animation. There you go. I mean, I think you don't have to depending on what you're using. But where should I send that? Looks, scenes. Okay, that's not what we want.
Yeah, it's not. Here, I'll find it.
You name your computer Nathan?
Did I? Wow, that was boring. I feel ashamed.
You would be Taylor. Would be a Star Wars character, like Lando or something. Okay, so I'm gonna do Shibboleth 2, if that's okay.
I don't think that original FBX is working at all.
So there we go. Complex animation bake, blah blah blah. All of that is done. Okay, so now if I go back here, I should have somewhere Shibboleth 2. Okay, that's it. So this should already have our animation. Let's play it. Wow. Okay, so you have that take 1 to 32, and that's exactly what you had in Maya. So that's animation right there. So now all you need to do is basically do exactly what we've done with the 2D system, which is with blocks, which is using this shape, and it fits exactly the same mesh. I'm gonna try that right away.
Can you just input into that mesh?
Yeah, it should be.
Interesting.
It should follow the same thing. Otherwise, we'll just try. I'm just gonna try that right away. Okay, so let's bring in animation, and it's gonna be punch. Okay, so now I shall have my bullet animator right there, and in my punch here, I am not gonna choose that. I'm gonna choose Shibboleth 2. There's take 1, and take 1 is our punch animation. So in Maya, that's where you actually should change the name. Is that
You can't change the name in Maya.
you can't?
No, you change it. I found just.
Oh,
here.
just right there. Yeah. Okay.
So. And I did set it up. I don't know if you're interested or not, but I set up the first 16 frames and then one
Yeah.
punch and then the
Great.
second 16 with the other punch.
All right, and now, well, I'm just gonna bring that in, and our punch animation here it's not gonna loop. Let's see if it plays at least one. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't play with that mesh because I think you have a slightly different finish. It's not a big deal. I'm just gonna bring. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Whereas it's ours.
Oh, it's just right there.
Oh.
And the lighting isn't set up, so it's going to be a little different.
And that model actually should already have. Oh, come on, get out. This already has an animator, and why is it doing that? Oh, okay. No, it actually doesn't have any. So I'm just gonna create something here again. Punch it in. Yes. And then it's gonna create this controller here, and all I have to do now is flip that again. So I go back into here and here. I want this animation. There you go. So it plays once.
Well, it's 200 frames long, the export as, whereas the animation's only 32 frames. So it might play through the whole thing.
But there you go. You have the animation working here, because it's just matching exactly our mesh. Okay, good. So the thing now is that I need to loop all that. So I'm going to go back here and loop time. So that is playing correctly. And what it... Yeah, of course. Come on, come on. Should keep playing Punch. Yeah. There you go. And again, you can just in Mechanic call, each animation. So the punch animation when you press space or whatever, and then vice versa.
For defense, the other show. That's actually
That's it. The trails are so beautiful.
Oh my god. I've been working on the effects animation for the punch itself as well. So having a
it looks
vaguely
fine.
fist-shaped...
I think the big thing is you start out with this vaguely penile shape, so it just makes you think of...
So it should shoot dicks, is what you're telling me?
No, all I'm saying is normally it would just just a punch
Dicks
to me,
don't shoot
but
dicks.
because it looks a little bit like a sex toy, it makes me think of all the things it would be doing to a human body. So
You're welcome for those mental illnesses, Jessica.
Maybe it takes
Truly,
place
this is
in-
my gift to you.
wait, excuse me?
Maybe the whole game is taking place in the human body.
Like some fantastic voyage.
Yeah, exactly. Osmosis Jones. Just the battlefield is your body.
Oh, that's pleasant enough.
Are we fighting disease?
With
Well,
penises.
maybe you are the disease.
My
Getting your way in the body, yeah.
Right.
oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, reboot the whole thing.
Okay, we'll start over.
Okay, well that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I think that covers all the everything.
I'm sorry that I kept talking about
Why?
the dildo-y aspect of it. I know you said it first, but it's just
It's funny looking.
you
That's
know
kind of the point.
you know how I am.
I kind of want this thing to be a little mockable. It's supposed to be like this stupid, horrible ship that you make fun of, and
It isn't-
everybody else has these really awesome ships that they like customized and made really cool.
Yeah.
And this guy is
It's
stuck
like
with
a
this
budget
awful
model.
thing.
Yeah.
Like I want this guy.